5G. As you can see, it's still winter here in Calgary, so we got to keep hustling. So we got this little addition that we're doing for Ernest with Fresh Start Projects. I ordered this fucker in. So come on inside and check it out. All right, guys. So like I said, we got a small little addition here. We're gonna blend into the fuck. All right, guys. So like I said, we're doing a small little addition here. Got to keep busy during the winter. The rest of the house is conventional stucco textured, but it's also painted. So we're going to put a little drainage on it, just to make sure we don't have any moisture damage because it is painted, obviously. Ernest has installed the Zip system, Zip Zap Z system. So it's actually from the States. So as you can see, all the joints on the sheathing are all taped up, and it already has a liquid applied vapor barrier on top of it. So pretty cool stuff. So yeah, let's get to the building envelope. Check it out. All right, guys, so we started out with just doing our flashing details, and they're actually going to be doing a Duradeck here. So since it's winter time, you know, the Duradecks have to be over 10 degrees or some bullshit before they can apply it. So we're going to wait till spring. So in order to get around that, because the Duradeck has to be tied into the building envelope, we just flashed on top of it. And then behind here, I've got 3M that hasn't been exposed here. So now they can actually put the deck on, do the Duradeck, get it up underneath this 3M, and the stucco is still intact here. And then what they'll do is they'll put a smart board detail over top of this, so it's nice and clean. And then if you ever have to change your Duradeck or it gets damaged or whatever, you can just pull that smart board back out, and then you have access to the building envelope. Pretty smart thinking, Dave. Check it out. All right, guys, so like I said, we're basically putting this 3mm 4-ply on all our jobs, unless it's a little repair or something, but anything that could use some extra drainage, we'll do it on there. So we've already got this 4-ply cut to the right size. Now you just want to make sure that this flap goes on top of the other one to create that drainage for it. And then I've already got the studs marked off. We'll just throw a couple in the studs and then the wire will pull it all down. But these extra steps that I take, you know, it's more expensive for me and more expensive for the client, but it's just a better way to do stuff. I'm out of staples. Oh no. Check it out. All right, guys. So yeah, banging out this wire. Now we've got the fuck, I don't know what I was gonna say. All right, guys. So yeah, we're banging along with this wire here. Now we're just gonna install butterflies around all the accessories, especially the windows and doors. So what this does, this is gonna help put it diagonally like this. This is gonna help reduce cracking. Now in Calgary, since we have such a harsh environment here, it's almost impossible to completely eliminate cracking when it comes to stucco. But we'll do everything we can to try to reduce it. But you know, when it comes to thermal expansion, the inside is warm, the outside is cold, and then meltdowns and all that shit. Your house is like a balloon in this environment. So you're gonna get a little cracking. It's part of stucco, it's normal, but we'll do everything we can to reduce that. Check it out. All right, guys, we're back on this job, just getting things ready here. It's a gorgeous day in Calgary today, so we decided to pop out of the horde just to prep up this middle of the wall patch here, and then we'll get it scratched today because it's going to be like about 10 degrees or something. So you got to take advantage of the weather while you can. Check it out. All right, guys, we're onto a super tight area here. The fence is right here, but we made it work with some pipe and arm, and we're onto the double coat here. When it comes to doing an addition, you always got to remember to put an expansion joint where the two buildings meet, because this for sure will crack down this area. So we threw an expansion joint in here. I'll significantly reduce that chance of that cracking. And then now we've got our first coat on. We let that dry for the night because it is winter. It's never a good idea to double the same day in the winter. So I'll go along and just put one quick skim coat on, kill the suction. Like so. And then we go back again. Usually it's a little bit more set up, but we'll go back again and then put another quick coat on there to get everything even. Alright guys, so we're all done the scratch coat over there inside the horde, but we do have a couple of good days left of this nice little warm snap that we're getting in Calgary. So I want to get this finished. That way we don't have to worry about it once I'm doing the finish coat on that. So I'm always trying to improve techniques and get better at what I do. So I was thinking the other night, can there be a better way to rasp down the texture instead of using the hand rasp? So what I did is I ended up going and grabbing a surface grinder disc, Now it probably should have the shroud on it. I didn't go and buy the shroud, but I just did a little bit over there, and it will spit shit all over the place, so make sure you wear your glasses. But I'm gonna use this to grind down that joint, because the joint is the most important part of any repair, along with color matching, but this place is painted. So I'm gonna grind down the joints here, make that nice and smooth, and we'll see if we can really perfect this middle of the wall repair. Check it, guys. So that was fun. Yeah, it worked really well, but yeah, I definitely need to get that shroud. I'll get that for the next one we do. But now I'm just gonna take my trusty old rasp and just try to even it out a little bit more. But yeah, it would have been a lot harder to take all this fucking, especially when it's painted. It's really tough to take off that step. So now I'll just go along and even this out as much as we can, and then we'll do some finish coat. All right, guys. So it's finish coat time. I filled in those couple little stupid holes that occurred during that massive grinding there, and then I always like to color match it, the finish coat, to the color here, just in case you get hail damage. It's better than when after you paint it, if it's stark white behind there, you can see a little chips and bullshit. That's a good point. Okay, now that my dad put his 2 cents in, it is a good point. So I mashed it in this, because it'll actually try pretty close to this anyway. So now let's go. Alright guys, got that flat coated. Now all we gotta do is just, as you can see, I just brought the mud down to a little bit over that joint. Still gives us that little bit of area where I'm gonna texture into, which is important. And then now I'm just gonna float that joint into it. Now, normally I wouldn't use water because I'll be color matching Masco, but this painted, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna use a little bit of water here just to nicely blend that joint in. Right there, just like so. And then we'll let that fucking dry. Texture it up. Check it out. Alright guys, my favorite part of any repair, texture time. So I've been studying this texture, and I don't know what the heck is going on here. We got some little bit of angle action happening, got some flat spots, gaps, overall just shitty. So let's do it. Alright guys, so I'm moving along here. It looks just like this. So every texture is a little bit different. So you gotta think of what was going on in that plasterer's mind when they were doing that shit. And in this particular situation, they just really just didn't give a fuck. Like I said, it's time to go the fuck home texture. So it's kind of all over the place and shit. Check it out. Alright guys, so we let this thing cure for about 7 days, 7 to 10 days, and yeah, it looks nice and cured off. All the moisture is out, there's minimal cracking. So we're ready to go for finish coat. And for this particular job, since it's painted, we don't really need to match the color, but I'm still gonna add some color into the actual finish coat. That way you won't be like white when if you get a hail damage or anything like that. And then for the formula, I just basically found some scrap shit that was in my garage I had to get rid of. So we got random bags of white sand, lime, white cement. So we'll do my regular old school formula, throw it all together, and check it out. Alright guys, now that the mix-a-lot is done making up this finish coat, we'll talk a little bit about it. I always like to make my own finish coat rather than buy a Masco premix. I just think it performs a little bit better, and also it is a lot cheaper. So I'll get a Masco to send me white sand directly. They ship it to Pac West, and then I make my own finish coat mixes for jobs like this, medium-sized jobs. So that mix consists of 6 bags of white sand, a full bag of lime, half a bag of white cement, and then the special ingredient is a scoop of bentonite clay. So what that is, they used to call it super spread. It really helps the spreadability of the actual finish coat. So you kind of need that in there, or else it'll be really chalky without it. So I use that bentonite quite a bit. It's kind of hard to find, but I found a good source for it. So yeah, let's spread this thing out. Check it out, guys. Time for my favorite part of any job, texture time. So for this particular addition, when it comes to like an addition, obviously you got to try to match the house, but the house is done so sloppy and shitty, like, you know what I mean? I don't want it to make it look like I fucking suck too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of go in between. So I'm gonna do the same style, but just a little bit tighter. So the style they use, it's just simple short trowel and kind of loop it at the end here, like this. See? And kind of erratic, but I won't have so many gaps. Stucco dig, we'll make sure that it looks great. Check it out. All right, guys, so we're back on this addition here. Finish coat dried up really well overnight. As you can see, it's a beautiful color. It's a heritage blue. I love this one. It's one of my favorites. Looks better than the rest of the house. But the rest of the house is painted, so unfortunately we're gonna have to paint this. Shouldn't be too much of an issue because there's drainage and all that stuff behind here. So yeah, I just fired up my handy dandy gray coat that Mark with Dynamic Painting sold me. And it seems to be working pretty good. So we'll just, painting in a horde is never fun. We're definitely sucking on some fumes here. I'm already getting a headache. Or maybe that's the sound of Jesse's voice. Right, Jesse?
Right.
Shut up. Check it out. Right, guys, there you have it. Another winter project completed. Check out that baby. Can't even see that fucking patch, eh? Ah, she's a beaut. That grinder worked really well. So let's go check out the rest of the job. Check it out. So we got the whole thing all painted. We used Deluxe Diamond, so it's a really good paint. I know I always say shouldn't paint stucco, but the rest of the house was painted, so what are you gonna do, right? I really like how the texture turned out. I didn't do my personal texture because it just would look totally different than the rest of the house, but I used a similar style, a little bit looser and less texture rocks, but just a lot neater than the rest of the house. So yeah, it turned out really nice. And as always, we got background clocking, reverse flashing. There's a rain screen behind here, so having the paint on there shouldn't be an issue at all. But yeah, it turned out perfect. So I've actually started rocking my YouTube channel again now. So like and subscribe at NextGenStucco403. I got all my Instagram videos on there, so you can watch them all the time. Check it out. Keep it real. Keep it 100.
Best thing here. Grab our coffee right now.
Ooh.